Hi, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I finally finished my sketchbook after a little over a year, I want to say, which is so exciting. I'm finally done. I can start on a new one. But before I jump into the review, I wanted to say that I'm painting a sunset in this video because I thought, painting the last page of my sketchbook the same way as I did the first page would be interesting. I don't know, is it interesting? It is interesting to me. And I don't know, since I started the sketchbook with a sunset painting, even though it was in watercolors, I just thought, let's end it that way, even if it's with gouache. Same. Anyways, it's been, like I said, a little over a year using this Moleskine Sketchbook, and I've used a variety of mediums in it. I want to just start by saying that. So I've used acrylics, watercolors, gouache, as you see in this video, ink pens, colored pencils, regular pencils, alcohol markers. I don't know, you name it. I've tried it in this sketchbook, and I have some thoughts, and I wanted to share these thoughts and my 1-year review of the Moleskine Sketchbook. Long story short, I wouldn't buy it again, although I don't regret buying it. So that one sentence just sums up my experience with this sketchbook. So this Moleskine sketchbook had the qualities that I didn't know I didn't like. I mean, because, before the sketchbook, I would just buy anything. I wouldn't give it much thought. I would just use it. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I didn't like. I just knew that I didn't really like spiral bound sketchbooks, so I just avoided it. So yeah, this sketchbook was just great in helping me figure out kind of what a good sketchbook for me would have and would ideally not have. So I will talk about the two main things that I learned. The first thing is the amount of pages that I tend to enjoy, and two, the paper quality, so it would mainly be the thickness. So starting with the point that I'm hoping will take me the least amount of time, the amount of pages in the sketchbook. So the sketchbook is 104 pages, which I would assume it's probably standard. It's probably an average amount of pages, but it was just too much for me. I was like 2/3 into the sketchbook, and I already wanted to move on and start a new one. I just wanted it to be over. And this meant that I kind of just didn't care about the later pages. I just did whatever I wanted to. But I mean, when I say it like that, it's also a good thing, right? You don't want to be a perfectionist in your sketchbook. You want to experiment. You want to try a variety of things. And, I would say having more pages was good for that. But I am someone who likes to try new things, except when it comes to food and drinks. Those I don't really mess with. But yeah, I like change. So I was itching to finish the sketchbook and move on to the next one. But this also kind of meant that, this kind of means that I probably won't ever have this one favorite sketchbook brand that I use for the rest of my life. But that's okay. It's just this sketchbook taught me that I would prefer sketchbooks with lesser pages. And I say that as my next sketchbook is like 8 pages less than this one. It's like 96 pages or something. But that was an impulse buy. Please do not judge me. I will also finish that one. Will probably take me another year, but that's okay. Anyways, my next point. The quality of the paper. So this paper is 165 GSM. While regular letter paper, at least the ones I have at home, are 75 GSM. And the watercolor papers that I use are 300 GSM. So the paper thickness of this sketchbook is somewhere in between. but it's kind of closer to letter paper. And I want to emphasize this, that, you know, I can't blame this on the brand. I really can't. But the paper pretty much isn't really good at handling wet media, such as watercolors or watered down gouache. And, you know, alcohol markers would also bleed through quite a bit. I want to say this again though, I can't blame the brand for it, because the sketchbook is marketed for pens, pencils, and other similar dry media. And I mean, I didn't know this until I bought the sketchbook, so do your research before you buy a sketchbook. But yeah, I don't know, I guess I was just disappointed because this sketchbook is so popular in the art community, and it's popular even among artists who use different mediums, just like myself. And I don't know, given its popularity, given the hype surrounding it, given the price, I kind of expected it to solve all of my art problems, which is on me, totally on me. Like, it's so unrealistic to put this expectation on a singular sketchbook. A sketchbook, like, let me emphasize this, a sketchbook that doesn't even market itself for mixed media. So again, that's on me. But in general, I was still able to use watercolors if I didn't do too much blending and just simply used a layer or two. But if I worked on a surface for a bit, the paper kind of peels, which also can be seen as I paint the water in this video. I watered down the gouache quite a bit when I was painting the water because I wanted to do more layering. And the more I worked on the surface, the more you could see the texture appearing, which are the dark dots in the video. I want to repeat myself again. The sketchbook doesn't claim to handle every single medium out there, but just using a different paper than what I'm normally used to kind of helped me understand the type of paper that I prefer in sketchbooks and the type of paper that I should probably shy away from. So ideally, the next sketchbooks would be thicker paper, it would be mixed media, something like that. But I want to say, like, there was a positive to using paper that I was unfamiliar with. So I kind of had to problem solve and try new things, new techniques, just new ways of using my sketchbook that I probably wouldn't have done so otherwise. I also could just, you know, glue things in it and just write down ideas, make rough drafts or thumbnail sketches and things like that, and the page just didn't feel so precious to the point where it prevented me from doing whatever I wanted. So I just did whatever, you know, I didn't care much. I want to draw a fish, sure, let's draw a fish, right? I want to draw, I don't know, I want to glue in my art pieces that I enjoy and I want to print them out, sure, let's do that. Like, if I didn't have any ideas on what to do, I would just roughly paint something. Who cares? I wasn't careful anyways. And I say this because my new sketchbook is a watercolor sketchbook. The pages are thick and they feel very precious. And as I look at it now, it's just, I can't imagine myself gluing things in it or wasting such good quality paper with just a thumbnail sketch or a warm-up when I'm stuck on finding ideas. So I'll also have to finish that sketchbook as soon as possible. Yeah, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are pros and cons to this sketchbook, just like a lot of sketchbooks out there. And what is considered a con for me might be a pro for another artist, and vice versa. And I just want to say that, like, prior to using this Moleskine sketchbook, I wasn't sure of what I liked in my sketchbooks, and I really don't regret buying this sketchbook because, honestly, take a shot every time I say sketchbook. Anyways, I don't regret buying this sketchbook because I know what I do and just don't enjoy in sketchbooks anymore. And what you enjoy and don't enjoy in sketchbooks might also be totally different than me, based on the mediums you prefer, how you like to use your sketchbook, and things like that. And that is a-okay. And honestly, you don't need an expensive sketchbook to make art. Um, like as long as you're making art, whether it be in this Moleskine sketchbook, on a canvas, I don't know, your math notes, your walls even, you know, that's something to cherish and that's something to enjoy. And I think that's all I wanted to say. A sketchbook tour is hopefully coming next week, so I'll see you then. Take care.